Hey everyone out there, I'm Judd Myers coming to you from BlastoffComics.com, and this is another episode of The Landing Pad. So our theme this month are kid heroes. Kid heroes, and I mean kid heroes, not sidekicks or teenagers, but kid heroes. Now when I was a kid, obviously just like you out there, I would always think about where I belonged. For me, as a young reader, it was always about hiding in my closet and trying to read as many comics as I can over and over and over. And as a kid, of course, I was drawn to the X-Men. The idea of there being a school where all these kids gathered together, they all had their special powers and their role together in a team, was very special to me. Didn't have a lot of friends, and so for me, just imagining that there were people who accepted me was a big deal. I know there's probably a lot of you out there that feel the same. One of the things that I find very ironic is that Stan and Jack, way back when in the 60s, thought we have to appeal to younger readers. And so they said, let's come out with some kid heroes that would appeal to them, maybe in the same way DC Comics did when Captain Marvel Jr. came out. And so they came up with this title about a group of kids who were outcasts but living together and trying to bond together to take on the rest of the world, and they called it the XMen. I find that very ironic. Kid heroes, essentially teens, and they were the X-Men. I always found that the interesting thing about this team was that there were always new people joining. There were people leaving and people coming in. And one of the things that they were always very careful to do was bring in young people. Even as the X-Men grew up, new youngsters were coming in and joining the team. Now, of course, we see over time that the school and the different splinter teams, they all had their different teenagers and youngsters who were coming in and being trained by the war experienced veterans. I remember at a certain point in my life, maybe you do too, the New Mutants. When this came out, it was a big deal for me, because these weren't just kids. They were really problem kids. They had a lot of issues. They were angry, they were sad, they were depressed. They loved each other, but at the same time, they were loners. Unlike the original X-Men, who loved to be together as a family, the New Mutants, they kind of didn't believe in the idea of family. They believed that you do things on your own. I think that that was very significant for me as a kid, because I didn't have faith in anybody or anything, certainly not my parents or my grandparents. I was just an angry kid. And that's one of the things that I think really appealed to me, is that you can be angry, you can believe that you're all on your own, but at the end of the day, you can be a hero, you can reluctantly find that you have friends, and you can discover that you can trust one another. Anyway, this has been Judd Myers, another episode of The Landing Pad. If you come into our store in North Hollywood, California, you'll see all of these beautiful X-Men titles, including Kitty Pryde and Giant Size X-Men #1. They're here, waiting for you to come and have a look or buy or just spend some time with them and realize that in our store, you're never alone. So, welcome to BlastoffComics.com. We hope you enjoy and survive the experience.